this video, you will see very old animals, like a macaw, a panda, and even a couple of reptiles that have lived on this planet for more than a century. Get to know them right now. The oldest blue and yellow macaw. Charlie, the blue macaw, became famous by a question. Was she Winston Churchill's pet? Charlie was born in 1899, which means she's 120 years old now.
Incredible!
The controversy began in 2004 when her current owner, Peter Oram, told the Daily Mirror that she belonged to Churchill, but...
He shall not be afraid of evil tidings.
According to JUDITH SEAWARD, the marketing manager of the former Churchill house, there is no record of the former British Prime Minister having a macaw. Also, Churchill's daughter, Lady Somers, has said that she doesn't remember Charlie living in the house. But Peter Oram insists that in 1965 he picked up Charlie from Churchill's house. So SeaWARD thinks it may have belonged to someone who worked there. The Daily Mirror wrote that Charlie could vocalize insults to the Nazis, but there's no record of it. The oldest Laysan albatross. Wisdom is the longest living Laysan albatross on Earth. This 68-year-old female lives in Hawaii, the United States, and is examinated by the Midway Atoll National Wildlife Refuge. The amazing thing about her is not only that she is 68 years old, despite her species living to at most 60, but that she can still become a mother.
Pregnant?
Wisdom was identified and branded by a group of experts in 1956 when she was about 5 years old. However, the guardians of the shelter never thought that she would leave.
I'll be back.
What?
And return to Hawaii year after year. Wisdom keeps laying eggs. There are some years when she doesn't lay eggs or her chicks hatch dead, but Wisdom has about 36 children to date, and experts estimate that she has flown 3 million miles. The oldest dog.
All right. Here you go, boy.
Everybody would like their best friend to stay with them forever. Unfortunately, the life expectancy of doggies is 15 years for medium or large breeds and 20 years for the smaller ones. However, against all statistics, some four-legged friends have managed to live much longer. Let's start with the Australian Kelpie, Maggie. She lived in Australia for no less than 30 years. She died in 2016 sleeping in her bed. Unluckily, Maggie's dad, Brian McLaren, had no way of proving her date of birth. The Guinness record for the longest living documented dog in the world is held by BLUEY, an Australian shepherd who was born in 1910 and died in 1939 at the age of 29. Finally, in Ohio, United States, lives Darla. Veterinarians estimate that the Pomeranian should have been born in 1987, so she would be 30 years old today. The oldest Major Mitchell's cockatoo. Cookie was a Major Mitchell's cockatoo who was 82 years and 88 days old when he died in 2016, which is surprising because his species lives only up to 60 years. Even in captivity, as in Cookie's case, who lived at the Brookfield Zoo near Chicago, they're not expected to live more than 70 years. So, Cookie was a legend among his kind. Speaking of Cookie species, where does Major Mitchell's cockatoo name come from? Well, according to the Handbook to the Birds of Australia by ornithologist John Gould, the explorer and surveyor general, Sir Thomas Mitchell liked these birds very much, so they were named after him. But they are also called leadbeater's cockatoo, desert cockatoo, or pink cockatoo. There's no doubt that Major Mitchell would be proud of Cookie getting into the Guinness Book of World Records for being the oldest parrot ever. The oldest pig.
Spider pig does whatever a spider pig does.
Pigs, so funny, loyal, and delicious. Wait, what was I saying? They're agile and intelligent. Some even compare them to dogs. The life expectancy of pigs is 20 years. But if there is one pig that stands out for its longevity, that is Ernestine. She was born on July 17, 1991, and lived all her life with her owners Jude and Dan King in Calgary, Canada. Ernestine was days away from adding another year to her Guinness record for being the oldest pig ever, but she died on Friday, July 11, 2014. aged 22 years and 359 days. Oh, Ernestine, you were so close. The oldest llama. Although llamas are generally very quiet, if you disturb them, they will spit at you without mercy. They live about 15 years and are native to South American countries like Peru, Bolivia, Chile, and Ecuador. However, the oldest llama in the world lives comfortably on Ron and Grace Hills Farm in Washington. In August 2017, the Guinness Book of World Records accepted the 1992 purchase invoice of Julio, a male who was already 3 years old at the time of purchase, but without sufficient documentation, the invoice was taken as the only evidence of his age. If you count from the date of the invoice, Julio is currently 27 years old. But if you count since his date of birth in the International Llama Registry, yes, that exists, Julio is 30 years old. Despite the minor existential crisis Julio may have,
Yay, I'm a llama again! Wait.
That hasn't stopped him from having a meaningful life, seeing his owner's daughter grow up and attending her wedding. The oldest giant panda. Jia was the oldest giant panda in captivity in the world. Although she had a wild origin, well, not so wild, but she was born in 1978 in the forests of Sichuan, China. At the age of 2, she was held captive and taken to Wolong National Nature Reserve, and then, in 1999, transferred to Ocean Park in Hong Kong. Giant pandas live 20 years in the wild and 30 years in captivity, but no one expected that after 37 years, Jia would still be at Ocean Park. So in 2015, they contacted the Guinness World Records, and she applied for the oldest panda in captivity. Unfortunately, during 2016, she became ill and barely ate 1/3 of her normal diet. When she could no longer walk, the Ocean Park and Hong Kong's Agriculture, Fisheries, and Conservation Department decided to put her down so that her suffering could stop at the age of 38. The oldest cat. Did you know that cute kittens are one of the 100 most harmful species for the planet? This is certified by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. This organization says that when cats escape from their homes, they prey on birds and small species, and since they are very adaptable and independent, they can replicate that almost anywhere in the world. Cats live on average 16 or even 20 years, but what would happen then if cats lived longer? The oldest cat in the world was Cream Puff, who got to the age of 38, which means he was born on August 3rd, 1967, and was a threat to the Earth until 2005. Phew, that was a close one. Wait, the monarch of this species of predators already has a successor. It's Rubble, a British cat that is 31 years old. Although her owner, Michelle Foster, does not want to apply to the Guinness Book of World Records because she says Rubble would not like to be in the spotlight, or maybe Michelle is under threat. We never know with cats. The oldest crocodile. Crocodiles appeared 55 million years ago in the Eocene and have remained almost identical ever since. Watch out, Leon. This is Henry, the dinosaur. He became world famous when the Croc World Conservation Center in Scottsburg, South Africa, celebrated his 114th birthday on December 16, 2014, which means that Henry is currently 119 years old. According to the staff of the Conservation Center, Henry terrified a Botswana's tribe and ate children and adults. Imagine being in front of this half-ton and 16th-inch length dinosaur. By the way, he has also had about 7,000 offspring. The oldest tortoise. If there is an animal that represents its country, it's definitely Jonathan, a Seychelles domed giant tortoise that lives on the island of St. Helena. This island belongs to the United Kingdom, but has its own currency, the St. Helena pound. And curiously,
No way, he's totally gonna give us props. Here it comes.
Jonathan appears on the back of the 5 pence coin, so Jonathan is always with the people of his island, even if he's not worth more than $10 Jonathan lives in St. Helena's governor's house and is 187 years old, just 1 year younger than Tui Malila, a radiated tortoise that lived until 1965 and holds the Guinness record for the longest living tortoise. The coin friend weighs about 550 pounds, and in 2017, it was discovered that his girlfriend, Frederica, with whom Jonathan had been mating for 28 years, is in fact a male. So, Jonathan is gay. Do you agree with this list? Leave your comment and subscribe for more Trend Max. Don't forget to click on the bell icon, and why not, on the on-screen videos too, so you can find out about much more curious content.